Good morning. Abstinence. Experience, strength, and hope from members of Overeaters Anonymous. This is entitled A Pivotal Decision. I'm celebrating 9 years of abstinence. For someone who couldn't stay on a diet for longer than 3 days, that's a miracle. A miracle made possible by OA. 9 years ago, I had been in OA for 4 years and had seldom had more than a few days of abstinence. I looked at those who had been abstinent for years and concluded that they must not have the same disease. In those 4 years, I couldn't make much headway with the steps because I didn't have a firm foundation of step one on which to build recovery. Driven by fear, desperation, and borrowed hope, I did learn, however, to use the tools. I got over my fear of making calls, even to those with long-term abstinence. I performed service by setting up chairs and laying out literature at meetings. I formed small relapse recovery groups in my home. I wrote, I meditated, and I read program literature. Since childhood, fear had led me to a strict self-reliance. Only from the agony of compulsive overeating was I propelled to reach out to others for help. After 4 years in OA, I had enough to spare and enough hope to surrender completely. I had admitted powerlessness before, but not that my life was totally unmanageable. After a week of abstinence, I wrote a fourth step inventory and read it to a friend who had 6 years abstinence. I wavered back and forth on the way home. If I wanted what my friend had, long-term abstinence, clarity, self-respect, recovery, I had to commit 100% to abstinence. But what about the freedom of eating what and when I wanted? I had a choice: discipline and recovery, or freedom and sickness. My higher power intervened. I made the decision for abstinence. But how? After 4 years of trying and failing, what could I do differently? How could I be sure I would never again, one day at a time, slip back into compulsive overeating? Many times I read the OA pamphlet, "Before you take that first compulsive bite, remember," and agreed with it completely. Yet time and time again, I ended up back in the food. Why? Because I didn't always know what the first compulsive bite was. Only occasionally did I dive right back into a binge. Usually I slid there. So I made the commitment to identify the first compulsive bite and call someone before taking it. 9 years of abstinence began with a single meal. I am no nearer to overeating today than I was 9 years ago, and no further either. I'm still just one bite away. 9 years of practice, commitment, and working the steps have kept me from taking that bite. I turned my food over to a sponsor for the first few years. I couldn't avoid all the binge foods, as I had binged practically on everything, but I did avoid my main ones. I could then fully work the steps, confident that the pain, fear, anger, and joy would not send me back to food. I got honest and clear about what I was eating. I could then learn to be honest about everything else. A lot has changed in 9 years. I eat all kinds of food now, with no cravings, obsession, or compulsive overeating. I don't plan my meals in advance or commit them to someone unless I'm under great stress and find it comforting to do so. One thing has not changed, however. Whether I'm eating at home, a picnic, a buffet, a restaurant, or a friend's house, I always make the decision as to what the first compulsive bite would be and commit to make a call before taking it. My life is wonderful today. I'm engaged to be married. I'm about to go back to school. The promises have come true for me. It all began with abstinence and my decision to recognize and call before that first compulsive bite 9 years ago. This message is from a member in Glorieta, New Mexico. Wow, there's some definition in there that really resonates with me. I want to check out this pamphlet, the Before You Take That First Compulsive Bite. Remember, I'm going to do that once I'm done here. I'll look it up and see if I can download it and read it, keep it. Um, and this idea, like literally, I slipped 2 nights ago. I purchased some food that is a classic uh, overeating binge item for me. And I rationalized when I saw it at the store, I was like, oh, I can divide that in two and I can have that for dinner tomorrow and then for lunch. That was the plan. And, but it wasn't, it was a justification. It wasn't really a plan. I should not have bought it, bottom line. And I brought it home and I stuck it in the freezer. And when I got home from work, and I eat dinner at work. So when I come home for the last 2 months, I've just gone to bed without any eating or snacking. And that night, that food item in the freezer, it was calling me before I even left for work. And I think if I recall, I decided to eat it before I left work. And it was a combination. I was going to watch a hockey game and I was going to have a compulsive outside of abstinence meal. And I made that decision clearly. So I wasn't committed to my abstinence. I wasn't committed to making a phone call before taking that first compulsive bite. I wasn't committed to making a phone call from purchasing that compulsive food item at the store. That's really where it should have happened. When I had, so that's the plan now. I'm going to call my sponsor and say, hey, dude, when I'm going shopping, I'm going to check in with you just before and say, hey, I'm going in and I'm going to buy food items that I don't binge on. I'm going to buy protein, veg, and fruit, right? Simple foods that, and here's part of my reluctance is that it's all the convenience foods, the foods you can pop out of a box and in 15 minutes you got food with no preparation, no seasoning, no cooking, no nothing. And it's just laziness and it's childishness, really. It's I want what I want and I want it now. Mommy, make me some food. And you know, mommy ain't here no more. And mommy did her job. And I got to grow up and be a grown ass man, as my sponsor likes to announce. You're a grown ass man. Make a choice, make a decision, and make the right choice. Make the sane, healthy decision. Be a grown ass man. So today, I'm going to make a food plan. I got exercise on the plan, so that's good. I got a lot of self care going on, and I'm doing very well. And I'm gonna activate my ninth step, my my 10th and my ninth, and I'm gonna forgive myself for not shoring up and not surrendering enough to call in my shopping experience. That's really where it begins. And just absolutely know that that food item can't be in my house. No, no, nope, nope. And the slip is that I ate some of that food item at work about a week ago. but I ate it non-compulsively. It wasn't a planned meal, uh, but I ate a portion of it that was rational and reasonable like 2 weeks ago. So that loosens up the mind and go, oh, hey, I can eat that. I can eat that. No, 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 no. I'm done. I'm really getting closer to being super, super done with eating. It's not even, I mean, I like to add into the phrase destructively. It is compulsive overeating, but it's destructive eating. It is self destruction. You know, I am full blown diabetic, multiple medication diabetic, and it killed my mom absolutely, and probably 100 other members of my family and generationally, and you know, oh, so many people. I mean, the entirety of my siblings have it. There's six of us. And really, there's only five, or there's only one person out of my immediate sibling nuclear family that does not have diabetes, and he's probably edging toward it. Um, he's probably been the most fit out of our group, but he's waffling away from it. That was funny. Um, but yeah, there is a significant chunk of food out there that can and will kill me. So to indulge in it is absolute insanity. And I, I've had that ironclad acknowledgement to alcohol and to drugs for a very long time. For nicotine for a very long time. That's been 10 going on 10 years now. I must open my mind and include death food into that abstinence, right? I'm so willing to abstain from drugs and alcohol and nicotine. Now I have to open up that willingness and acknowledgement to refined sugars and flours and mass prepared foods, boxed foods. It's just so awful. And I need to see it all as one. And when I see these baskets going by and they're full of boxed foods and alcohol, and they've got narcotic bags from the pharmacy, I know what's up. It's all death. It's all destruction. And the disease is so rampant, so huge, and the level of sickness and obesity and just self degradation. I mean, the people, the way they dress, the way they're willing to be in public with no sense of self-worth. It's it's so eye-opening, and I'm going to acknowledge it. I'm going to acknowledge it, and I'm going to surrender, surrender, surrender. So today, I'm going to write down a food plan. I'm going to acknowledge and connect with my sponsor, and I'm going to be abstinent just for today, just these 24 hours, just these 3 meals, nothing in between. Thanks for Thanks for letting me do a big share. That's 13, 14 minutes. Oh my God. Have a great day. Have an abstinent day. Call your sponsor. Write your food down. Do the do. Read some literature. Go to a meeting. Have a great day.